Welcome back, everyone. If we were to ask you what is your most valuable possession, what would it be?
A recent survey shows as many as 7 in 10 respondents would trade a treasured personal possession for more hair. Joining us today is Dr. Christopher Genchev, physician and surgeon at the Madison Hair Transplant Clinic. So good to have you here.
Good to be here.
If a man is starting to feel self-conscious about his hair or lack thereof, what are the current options out there?
Well, there's several. I mean, there's medical and surgical options and non-medical options. Briefly, with medical options, there's some over-the-counter products like Rogaine. A lot of the viewers have seen that, and it works quite well. It can preserve hair. And there's something called non-thermal light energy, which is low-level light therapy. It's like a laser light. And the gold standard right now is Propecia. That's a medical option that is a prescription. And virtually 9 out of 10 guys on Propecia maintain their hair counts, which is really quite impressive.
Before we get to the surgical options, let me just ask you, are you seeing more men coming in now, especially with the economy? I mean, is this an option more men are seeking out?
That's a great question. I mean, almost as many. I mean, there's been some dips because it is a discretionary thing. Everyone can go without hair for a period of time, but it does bother a lot of the guys, and they clearly want to get something done. And so they want to, unfortunately, by the time I see them, they've spent so much money on some other things that don't work. And so I really want to convey to them just what are the valid options that are out there that they can look into and educate themselves. That's key.
The other option is surgical, and we have some images. So explain to us what's out there and talk about these pictures we're going to show.
Right now, the state-of-the-art surgical is basically follicular unit transplantation. I included this photo here because it's a older gentleman, probably about 55, 60, and we just reconstructed his hairline with follicular units. That's hair. And that's the after shot. So, and then I included the shots so on a comb back look, so you can see that there's no separation, and it can look very, very natural. It doesn't have that doll effect that everybody's concerned about with hair restoration. From the back and the sides. So clearly, it's a supply and demand.
That's a good question.
From the back and sides of their head.
There's a really bad Saturday Night Live.
There is. Yes, you probably are aware.
Yes. And this is a younger gentleman that basically went on therapy, and he shaves his head and was a former hairpiece wearer, but now he's on actually he's on Propecia. And we just restored the hair and worked with his existing hair. So very often, you know, when you do medical therapy, it's a nice marriage between that and surgery, where if they can keep their hair, we can replace it.
Now, if you're taking the hair from the side of the head and somebody is losing hair at a rapid rate, this is good for people to know they need to come in sooner. Is there a standard as to how much have you lost when you go, I got to get in there?
It really can vary. Typically, the sooner that they start some type of medical therapy, the more hair they preserve, and they become a better surgical candidate as well. But you know, you can have 1 or 2 cases where we move literally 3,000–4,000 follicles at a time. It could be a 7 to 8 hour, 9 hour procedure, and it looks awesome in about 3 to 6 months.
Painful?
It's a local procedure, so they're not knocked out, much like at a dental anesthetic, and so they're just basically talking with the staff and watching TV while we're preparing the grafts.
Very cool.
Watching TV. There you go.
You can watch us.
Most important message for men, we're running out of time quick.
That do their homework, don't rush into anything, look at some good sites, and get very well educated, because there's just so much misinformation out there. There's more fact than there is myth with this process.
Dr. Genchev, thank you so much. We really
pleasure.
Appreciate it. And you gave me a list of great resources. So if you would like more information on the hair restoration options, just want to look at some statistics, those resources are posted on our Newslinks page at NBC15.com.
By the way, I just want to add this. When we were doing a little bit of research for this piece, there were a lot of women on Facebook when we were talking about this segment who said, just remember, bald is very sexy on a lot of men.
That's true, too.
I don't want to put you out of business.
No, that's fine.
David has a final look at the forecast when we come back.